Hello and welcome to the Capitol Report on NTD Television. I'm Steve Lance. Another not guilty plea. Former President Trump today pleading not guilty to new charges filed against him in the classified documents case. And he's now asking the Supreme Court to intervene. NTD's Iris Tao brings us more.
Just a day after pleading not guilty to all charges related to his actions after the 2020 election, former President Trump today entered another not guilty plea, but this time to the new charges filed against him in the Florida case involving his handling of classified documents. Last week, the Justice Department filed new charges against Trump, alleging that he tried to delete CCTV footage to try to hide classified documents. And today, Trump pleaded not guilty through a court filing, making it his fourth not guilty plea in just 4 months.
So if you can't beat him, you persecute him or you prosecute him. We can't let this happen in America.
On Thursday, Trump was arraigned at this federal courthouse right behind me in Washington, D.C. after the indictment this week over his actions in the 2020 election. And on Friday, Trump wrote on social media that, quote, "My political opponent has hit me with a barrage of weak lawsuits. It is election interference, and the Supreme Court must intercede." That's as the Republican House Speaker said this on Thursday.
Every time Trump goes higher in the poll, he gets a new indictment.
But Trump could face a fourth indictment before the end of this month. Local officials in Fulton County, Georgia, said on Friday that they're ramping up security around the local courthouse there, as District Attorney Fani Willis is expected to seek another 2020 election-related indictment against Trump in the coming days. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Iris Tao, NTD News.
And more insight from Hunter Biden's former business partner. This after Tucker Carlson released the second part of his interview with Devon Archer. The two spoke about then Vice President Biden's influence in his son's business dealings.
He was aware of Hunter's business. He met with Hunter's business partners. You found a letter that illustrates that he knew me.
And he's thanking you. He's thanking you for his efforts.
So I think that was,
The interview with Carlson comes days after Archer testified before a House committee on similar topics. Carlson also held up a letter from Biden to Archer. In it, Biden apologizes for not meeting with Archer and thanked him for working with Hunter Biden. Archer was careful with his words during the interview, but he conveys that the Biden family name and Joe Biden's political position were the main appeal for business partners. Archer was ordered by the Justice Department to show up for a jail sentence last weekend, just before he was set to give testimony to Congress. We know that Chinese ownership of U.S. farmland has increased dramatically over the past decade, which some in Congress consider a major national security concern. A related issue involves allegations of agricultural espionage. The House Select Committee on China held a hearing in Iowa to hear about this firsthand. NTD's Melina Wisecup has the details. So, Melina, what are some of the main concerns that were brought up at that hearing?
There were many aspects as to what was discussed at that Iowa field hearing, but one major concern that was highlighted was the CCP's ongoing efforts to steal highly prized agricultural technology. They gave one example that happened in Iowa about 10 years ago. There was a Chinese man spotted digging up and stealing seeds straight from an Iowa farmer's land.
Not just any seeds, these were hybrid seeds. So these high-tech seeds are among the most tightly guarded trade secrets in the industry.
Crops that are grown from these seeds can then be sold by China at much cheaper prices. Trade is also a major issue.
Especially when agricultural exports, especially from your district and others, are so vital to our economy.
And a separate issue that has garnered much more attention, especially from folks here in Congress recently, is the issue of the Chinese buying farmland here, especially near military bases,
where they could potentially monitor our activities.
This has led to half of the states having passed or considered restricting Chinese purchases of U.S. farmland, and lawmakers are looking to do so on a federal level. Now there's a mysterious land purchase that is right around a California air base, which is known as the gateway to the Pacific. One concerned congressman saying, "We have no idea where the nearly $900 million has come from." They bought well over 55,000 acres of land in the area, and the purchase raises a major concern. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Melina Wisecup, NTD News.
So what does the latest arraignment mean for former President Trump moving forward? And what are the chances of another indictment in the state of Georgia? To assess, we have President of Legacy PAC, Jared Craig. Jared Craig, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
Of course, Jared, the arraignment yesterday of former President Trump, the third one, federal charges yet again. All things considered, the judge in Washington, the likely jury pool in D.C., how difficult is this suit going to be for him compared to some of the others?
Well, I think this suit's more of a trap for Donald Trump. The judge has shown that she is not a fan of Donald Trump, and she's ruled against him several times in other opportunities she's had. And the jury pool in D.C. is no surprise that the D.C. Republican base is probably as small as 5%. So if this goes to a jury, I think the jury pool is going to be not friendly to Donald Trump, sadly enough.
So former New York City Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik, he's claiming right now exculpatory evidence was given to Jack Smith prior to the indictment, showing there was a genuine effort to investigate claims over voter fraud in the last election. Smith's team now requesting these documents, implying they didn't have them. What do you think this could mean for the case?
Well, when we get into the exculpatory evidence, that can't be withheld by the prosecution. And if it is going to show that there has been no crime committed, well, that's going to kill the case. And it doesn't matter if that's at federal court or at a state level superior court or wherever. You can't withhold evidence that shows the defendant is not guilty. And it might be the basis of a mistrial.
Jared, I want to ask you about this case in Georgia in Fulton County that's been brewing. I want to play some tape from the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, and get your reaction on the other side.
Sure.
Are you coordinating with the special counsel's office at all?
I'm not going to comment on our investigation at this time.
How much overlap is there between what you're planning to do and what's in the special counsel's investigation or indictment?
I mean, obviously, we're concentrating on Georgia and things that impacted Georgia.
I'm no body language expert, but what did you see there?
What I saw there was a surprising tightening of the speaking by DA Willis. She was so happy while she was running for office in 2021 to boast about how she was going to get Trump and how she was going to get a lot of these other electors. So it's surprising that she's tightening up her lips now when she has an investigation going forward. She's impaneled a grand jury, and I can't speak about some of the actions that I have filed, but there are actions out there concerning the connection of Fani Willis's district attorney's office and the Department of Justice coordination. So that video right there, like you said, the body language tells you everything you need to know. And my hunch is a little bit more galvanized at this point that they're working hand in hand with the DOJ.
We will certainly stay tuned. Jared Craig, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching the Capitol Report. If you want to see our full broadcast, check us out at epochtv.com.